Hey, welcome back to the day after. I so badly just want to have some dumbass fucking intro at some point.
Yeah.
Like a super cheesy like DJ radio intro. Welcome to the day after, a podcast dedicated to sharing stories and navigating grief together. One of the podcasts I listen to, he does like a Mrs. Doubtfire voice, and it's
Oh my
so
God.
good.
That's
and
hilarious.
he like lean into it. So now he's just like, Mrs. Doubtfire, we're starting the episode.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But anyway, so we are now recording for episode 4 of the day after, and we are we've recorded 5, right? Episodes in total.
Yep.
How do you feel like it's been going?
Yeah, I feel like it's been great. And also for context, this is going to be every few episodes, a little bit of a summary, kind of maybe a little bit of lighthearted, jokes. Might get a dead mom joke in there, occasionally. Because after all, what is that? Humor? Humor? Is that how you, what is the whole phrasing? Like how you get through grief. I have dark humor. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
I love a dead mom joke.
Yeah.
I think my mom would be proud of me for liking dead mom jokes.
Mm-hmm. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
We have a lot of those here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The worst, actually, it's not the worst, but the best part is when you like do a dead mom joke to people that like don't, and they just like react like, what the fuck?
Yep.
But I did, I actually had this kid that like bullied me in high school. Although I say bully, I don't really even remember like exactly what he said to me, but at one point he said like your mom, and it was like at the time when like your mom jokes were funny, and I just looked at him dead in the eye and I was like, my mom is dead. And he never fucking bullied me again.
That's awesome.
And it had such an impact on him that literally at our like 5-year reunion he apologized.
No way.
Yes, I was like, dude, it's all good. It's a good story.
Funny. Yeah. That is a great story. We should have him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Tell us what you felt in that moment when you were confronted with the fact that you just dead shamed Ashley.
Obviously, he felt bad.
Yeah. The kids run into that a lot too. Or like they were just talking the other day. Grace was like, she was asking the boys, like, what do you do when they say, is your mom coming, or is your mom doing this or that and there? And each of them just kind of had their own little reaction to it.
Yeah.
It was pretty interesting. Yeah.
What did they say? What did they say?
So Grace just kind of ignores it and just like, yeah, okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Charlie, he's similar in that way. Cameron wouldn't really talk about it, but yeah, they're just like, it's easier to pretend that that's real than to like go into the whole story of like, what do I do? Just say my mom's dead. Like, yeah. Why not? Make people uncomfortable. Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where you just, I feel like I feel like we live in a time where there is so much death that you would think that like all these other things that happen, or, I don't know. I'm sure that there's like an example I'm failing at, but you should know, like, not everyone has a mom. Let's put it that way. You know?
Yeah.
So, and it's not because they died. There's a lot of reasons that we don't have moms. So we should be a little bit more like
aware.
Yeah, conscious of that.
Yeah.
But I remember that being. I can't really remember what I would say. Sometimes I'd probably be like, my mom's dead.
Yeah.
Definitely sounds like me.
Was your brothers and sister? Well, I should say sisters. Did everybody have the same kind of humor, dark humor with it? Or do you think you leaned into it? Really?
I don't think they did as much. I would say that they're a little bit more
serious about it. Can I guess who of
reserved.
The Infantinos?
All of them. They're like all very, yeah.
I was going to say at least Nick and Olivia feel like they'd be more reserved about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably like, you're like the loudmouth Italian, just like dead mom jokes. It's like, that's how I get through it, man.
Yeah, I feel that. What do you think about the response that we've had with the first couple of episodes that we released?
I'm like totally overwhelmed, man. I posted about a little thing today, but I just like can't believe like the messages that people have sent, like not even like listenership and all that stuff, but like just today, a friend of my sister's who was like listening, he was just like, I can really relate, especially because there's not any other groups or podcasts or anything that he has found that helps him. And actually I also uncovered that one of my childhood friends like remembers my mom. She messaged to tell me that she's got a really vivid memory of one day at my house after school on a play date, which I have like 2 friends that might remember my mom. So that is like so special to me that because my friends since high school were all like, I totally wish I could have met your mom. And that's something they've said throughout our friendship. But I just can't believe, and like, I mean, dozens of people that want to come on. Yeah. Which is just so, I don't know, it's exciting. Yeah, and it's a big honor.
It is. It is. I'm absolutely blown away. I'm of 2 minds about it. One, I feel the same, right? I'm really humbled and I'm blown away that people are actually responding to it. That they're finding value in it, because that's what I've been so worried about, of like, what value are we bringing? Like, I know that I find value in people's stories and not feeling alone, but is this just me, or is this actually like a collective? So that's really awesome. The other part of me is just like, is this just the initial shock of releasing this stuff? And then, a lot of people that have reached out, like, they're aware of the stories, they relate on a personal level. And is it going to go away? And then, like, how is my system going to react to that? Do we keep at it and we keep pushing through even when that initial response maybe dies down a little bit and we just keep pressing on? I get very pessimistic about it, because I'm like, oh, I've done stuff before and there was like a little bit of fanfare and then it died out. Now this feels a lot different. This feels like there's actual momentum behind it. Yeah. And I've always done those things alone. So this is the first time I've ever tried something with a partner, with somebody else. And it's been really good for me. I really enjoy doing this with you. And I really enjoy like the complement of our skill sets to like bring this out, right? Like, there's so much more than just, hey, let's have a conversation and like press record and then just push it out. Like, there's so much that has gone into this already, and we're just scratching the surface. And I love that, like, we get to build on that together. And I also love that, like, we get to reconnect and get closer together. I remember when we went out, it was my last week working at Facebook, and we ended in the London office.
Oh, yeah.
We got to come
I was just telling
you.
someone about that yesterday.
And I have the photo. I think it's up there. Where Ariana was just having so much fun going to all the pubs, hanging out with you. Like, it was such a good time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Such a good time.
I'm sending, my aunt's going to London in a few weeks. And I was like, you got to go to Padella and you have to eat every single pasta dish on the menu. And I literally told her, I was like, when CJ Ariana, I was like, go. I wanted to be like, too bad you're not going with someone that's dying, because we ordered the whole fucking menu and it was amazing.
It was so fucking good. And it was so small in there and cramped, and we just ate.
I know.
So much food. Yeah, that was amazing.
My friends in London are always like, dude, you fucking live there. And I'm like, it's my favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
One of my favorite restaurants in London.
Now I'm hungry for homemade pasta.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I haven't made it in a while. It's been a couple months.
I'm laying off the carbs right now, so spaghetti squash.
It's so watery.
It's nothing.
So fucking watery.
Yeah, it's nothing like pasta.
But
on a more serious note,
yes.
The other thing I was going to say about the response was also this realization that I am literally surrounded by death, because when it was people that I knew of, I remembered, especially as we created this. I was like, I had them in my mind. But then it was like I'm like, holy shit. Like literally all of these people have lost husbands, wives, dads, moms, sons, daughters. I'm just like, how in the world do I know this many people that have lost someone that close at a young age, nonetheless, right?
Yeah.
That's just crazy to me.
I don't know. Like, it's like the people that experience what we experience find us. Like I somehow have a lot of widowers in my life. Never did before Ariana died.
Yeah.
But now I do. Not looking for them. And some of them are friends. Like I don't know. It's weird. Yeah. It's very bizarre. But yeah, it's been something that I was like really, really freaking out about last week with this, and like with Hopeless Mope too, which is a clothing brand that I started. Is I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember the name of it. And it was Andy Dunn, I believe his last name is. He was the founder of Bonobos, which is a clothing brand, and very successful, sold it to Walmart. But he is now on a mission because he has bipolar disorder 1. And he ended up, I believe he ended up getting hospitalized and then had to come out to the board that he had this diagnosis. So he ignored it for years and years and years and years. And he's on this mission of sharing and like getting people to talk about mental health and getting like sharing his story and talking about bipolar and just like the reality of it, right? Because like we're so misinformed. And he's got this massive platform, and there's other people with huge platforms that are doing it. And I am a nobody from Rochester, New York, who is starting a podcast and started a clothing brand and is trying to evangelize mental health and discussions and stories, because stories are so popular or so powerful. I believe they're so powerful if we could just share them all. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, why am I adding noise into something that there are people who already have platforms that can help drive the discussion? And like, I was sitting in therapy of all places, and I was like, I'm sorry, this is a wasted session, but I'm just going to bitch the whole time because there's no reason for me to be doing this. I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting my money.
No,
I'm wasting everything. Reason. Yeah. And it was just such a battle and such a struggle. And then, we released the episodes. Actually, I was in session. I got out and I had like 5 messages from you. of just like, oh, I just booked somebody. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And I was like, okay, maybe I need to chill out a little bit and just accept that like this is the path that we're on.
Something can go right.
It's hard to believe, honestly.
I mean, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel you every day.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that it could. And then it's like, why? But then you can always ask, well, why not me? But yeah. Anyways.
Think positive, man.
Okay. You too. What are you going to do now that there's no more football?
Wait until there is football. I've got a lot of trips planned, actually. That's how I spend my off season, just like Josh Allen does,
Yeah, there you go. Where are you
going? London, Porto, Chicago, Atlanta.
Nice.
Yeah, spend the summer at the river. One of my favorite places on earth.
Nice.
I feel like this year is going to go by so fast.
Yeah.
It's like I look at the calendar and I'm like, God, it's gonna be July.
Yep.
It's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah, I want to take the kids somewhere. Just not sure what is going to happen yet. So we'll see. Anything else about our first foray into this podcasting shit?
No. I hope everyone continues to listen and gives us their feedback so we can make it the best platform out there.
Yes, please. Yeah, we definitely value feedback. Make sure you rate and review because that helps us a ton. on wherever you listen to podcasts, and let us know if you know anybody that should be on. More than happy to have a discussion with them and share as widely as you possibly can. We have many, many things planned for the future should this work out.
When it works out.
When it works out. Sorry. What the fuck? Sorry. You can't see, but she just rolled her eyes at me and gave me like a very Italian like hand signal. Yes, when it works out, we have a shit ton planned for this. It is much bigger than a podcast in our minds and in our heads. So yeah. Anyways, that is it for episode 4.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Day After. You can find this podcast and more at our website at www.thedayafter.com. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd really appreciate it if you take a moment to leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcast.